Okay, perfect. So point the camera down here. You need 4 things for a hardwire. You need the take power. This comes with 2 stickies. You have to make sure that these stickies are on the back of this motherboard. You have to mount it to the metal. This cannot touch metal or else you'll short it out. This is the super switch. This is where all the zones go into. We're gonna wire 8 of these zones into ports 1 through 8. We'll deal with the ground and the 12 volt at the end of this. This transformer, this is going to replace this guy right here. Not every time is this outlet inside the closet. Sometimes it's in a totally different part of the house. And this guy replaces this guy. That'll make sense. So, a couple things to note. You'll look at the motherboard here and you're looking at ports 1 through 7 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All of these wires, the only ones that we worry about out of this stuff are all these blacks are in here and these reds are in here. Those will go to either motion detectors or glass breaks in the house. And then these first 2 ports, these ports 1 and 2 are going down into this wall and going to this transformer. So this transformer is powering up this entire motherboard, which powers up the entire hardwire itself. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this and undo it. Okay, set it off to the side. I need to keep that for later. I will use it again soon. This we don't really care about. You can set that off to the side as well. Here's the backup battery. I just want to unplug this, make sure their system is completely powered off so that the old company is not calling them. So I'm going to put that off to the side as well. Okay, now what you want to look for is the keypad. Their old panel is always plugged into ports 4, 5, 6, and 7. And you'll have a black, a red, a green, and a yellow. All 4 of the colors will be going to each different port. You have one here that's doing that. You got a red, green, black, and yellow. And you have another one over here that's doing that. That means they have 2 keypads in the home that are going into ports 4, 5, 6, and 7. They labeled this one, though, as keypad. And so you'll notice that if they did that, this is probably the main ones that we want. We're just gonna undo this.
What do the keypads function as if there's not gonna be a keypad?
They function as? What is that?
What do they function as if there's no keypad? If there's just gonna be our panel?
This wire, we're gonna reuse the wire. And so this wire, will eventually use it again. We're gonna tie 2 and 2 together, and then we're gonna run it over to here and put a vac 1 on it, and we're gonna be able to power up our panel. So let's set this aside as well, along with our AC
Power
power.
of our panel, I already ran the panel.
So we're gonna set this aside over here. This here is zone 1. This is in port 8. And this is a transistor. We always cut these off. Ow. Oh. Okay. This is this guy.
So that zone 1 you put in.
Zone 1. You could put this in zone 1.
Oh. Let me see your phone real quick.
Perfect. And then we're gonna take this.
Check what's on your job.
No.
This is the common. So we have zone 1 and then we have a common wire. Okay, we're gonna keep that out just like that. Next zone, this is zone 2. They will not always be labeled like this. I'm just going wire by wire. I'm gonna take this out. all the zones, again, they start from port 8 and they move forward from there.
So you just take one off, put it in that thing, take one off, put it in
And
that
you have
thing.
to be careful with which ports you're putting them in because they start from port 8 and they start going from there.
Okay.
So when it's 2 wires like this, so it's 2 wires coming out of one strand, that's either a door or a window. Make sense?
So it's like not actually wires, those strand wires.
What was that?
Like not actually like full wire. It's like
Yeah, stranded
Those-
wires.
string things.
This is the common. I'm going to keep tying all my commons together, and I keep putting all my sensors right in here. This is another sensor.
Vic said he's taking your job.
My job?
Yeah.
Shoot. I accepted it though.
He said he's only 2
Okay.
houses away from it, so he's just gonna take it.
This. Sometimes you need to twist these strands together a little bit more to make it a little bit more tight.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I like it.
And then
You're ruining the educational video.
you just got to tighten that down. And
Sam,
then
how
you'll
many
just cut
times
this.
have you done this?
A million.
Teenage account, obviously.
This is the ground. We've already hardwired 3 of the zones that are in this house.
Out of how many?
So
Not
is
very many.
this how it's gonna connect to the panel? Because it's
Yep.
wired.
This is the
Sensors?
sensor.
Oh,
This has a TXID. You see this number on it? 0765451.
yeah.
Your first TXID is going to be zone 1. That's its TXID. Zone 2 is going to replace that last number with a 2. Zone 3 is going to replace that last number with a 3. So we're basically giving all these wires their own TXID from this guy. This is the most important guy out of the whole
How do you
thing.
learn it? Them like the old things in. You just go like, how do you trigger them?
What was that?
How do you trigger like the
You
hardwire
can
and
just
stuff?
you can open the doors just like regular
What
sensors.
about like motion detectors and stuff?
Same thing. You just walk in front of it, or you just clap 2 bits together in front of a glass break, because that's how glass breaks work, because they work based off of vibration. Okay.
So when you're doing it, like in the system to like select equipment, do you go into pre-existing, or do you have to do hardwire like pre-existing?
One sec. Pre-existing. You always learn them in as 655s. The video that teaches you, it says do the first zone as hardwire take, and then continue with the rest. You really honestly don't even have to do that. Okay. Perfect. Here's another door or window. We're on zone 5.
Does it say that on the
No, if
tag?
there's only 2 wires coming out of this sheathing, again, it's a door or a window. I'll show you guys what a motion or glass break looks like.
Motion glass is like a fibrous one, right?
No, it's got 4 wires coming out of it.
What's the fibrous one?
No, there is no fibrous one.
Yeah, it's the one that had like all the wires you twisted together.
What do you mean?
The string looking ones.
Yeah, the stringy one.
What stringy one?
Is
Just messing with
this guy for real?
It can't be.
Okay. Is everything making sense so far?
Sure.
All these
Yeah.
commons, what these commons do is these help the wires communicate. So
I
all of them
understand like what everything does, it's just not how to do it.
are cool. Smarty pants. Cool. There's another door, window. We're on zone set. Actually, we're in zone 6.
So when you added that 2 gig pad, was that like an upsell or what? Does that count as that?
Yeah, if you change the original price of the package positively, yep, you get 15% of whatever that is.
What is it?
Once you make $30,000 for Vivint, you start getting paid 17%
$30,000. Jeez, dude.
for Vivint.
Oh, is that just like the whole price?
Bailey's already done $2,000 for Vivint.
Only 28,000 more to go.
Okay, this one, you see how this wire has 4 wires coming out of it?
Mm-hmm.
This black and the red we're going to toss to the side in a sec.
Isn't it supposed to be like a color code thing when you're twisting wires, like black and yellow, and then like
I
green?
mean,
And
as a
yellow?
technician you want to, but this yellow, you can choose any of these wires out of these yellow and green, which one you want to be your sensor, which one you want to be your common. So I could have just chosen all the blacks. I chose the red because it's technician etiquette.
What do you mean?
And this green is the common.
Like, there's like a code you're supposed to go by, but like you don't have to.
Okay. This goes into all of the commons as well. So motions still have commons. The only thing that's extra about motions or glass breaks is out of this same wire also comes this black and red. We'll deal with this in a little
What's
bit.
that bun jumble thing right there?
This is called the ground. This is how all the wires communicate together, is just from this guy. Should probably undo this.
Oh, my ankles.
Okay, and then we got last door. Right.
So they've only had 8 sensors in the whole house.
Exactly what we want. So
Is
for
there
example, I'll show you guys. This black is a black. I'm about to go against code here.
Oh no.
Going off the grid. I'll show you guys.
So if
You guys can put the black in here too.
if this is like a huge like mansion, it was like a Hardwire Takeover, would that like panel be like massive, the motherboard thing?
I've
What's
seen one before with 3 of these things.
3 motherboard things?
Yeah.
Dang.
That's right, you were on that job. Jared.
Yeah.
Okay. I like to just use all the ones that have the transistors on them as my grounds.
God, whoever invented these
So,
things.
hello, 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 hello. Sorry, Siri keeps trying to talk to me and tell me. This person responded. This person texted you. This person texted you. This person texted you.
Sam Brown said to a group, "Who isn't done with their Vivint trainings?" That's all I heard all morning.
Okay. Keypad, AC. Okay. Now, the hardwire's done, basically. Now it's just a lot of putting things together, making things work the way they need to be.
Dude, that was a throw. You landed it inside the bag when it was sideways.
Oh yeah. Impressive.
Sam's beast mode.
So,
Just
you gotta
careful.
put these on the back.
So it doesn't touch the metal.
These have to be put on the back. I've been bleeding this entire time. I've been trying to.
What do you mean?
There's blood coming out of my thumb right now.
Oh, it's not
That's
bad.
how
right?
you know you're doing a good job.
Toss that sucker right in there. Okay. You'll see, put the camera down here. Zoom it up.
Oh yeah, all the way in.
Okay. You have these first 2 ports is your AC power. Remember, these first 2 ports is what used this guy down here.
Mm-hmm.
This wire's going up into these wires right here. These first 2 ports are the same thing. We're going to swap out that transformer.
Black, yellow, red, green. Isn't it like
So
black?
it doesn't matter which side you put those colors in, right?
No, it's AC.
It's AC.
Isn't it like black and yellow bumblebee or something, and then red, green Christmas tree?
Makes sense?
That's what Arturo told me.
Hello, 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 hello. Sorry, people keep trying to freaking. Okay, keypad. Set this off to the side again. I know you already used a different area. You can reuse these wires and use the same wires, and you could have ran it and just twisted these together, put it in this outlet.
I didn't realize that power went to that hardwire box.
It's all good.
So
Now you know.
So I looked down, I was like, where's the transformer?
Do we have 18 2-gauge wire?
In here?
You
No,
could grab that
out
really
there.
quick.
That's
I'm gonna put this on YouTube.
Get a bunch of hits. While I'm waiting for that, you want to make the hardwire look pretty clean. So
this light is making
I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna put this right.
Good thinking, Sam.
How's that?
Good thinking.
I'll eventually mount the hardwire to that, or the 18-2. Okay.
What are you doing now?
I'm gonna connect all these, the blacks and the reds, into the positive and the negative.
Wait, so are you plugging it from that thing to there? Or
I'll
okay.
show you guys how that's done. Okay. G stands for ground. Take that. Boom. We got a wire going into the ground. This red is going to go into my 12 volt. If you guys see that,
Yep.
port says 12 volt. Just like that. Now, these two wires. Just gotta make. Looks like there's like one motion detector in the house.
Yeah, it's by the front door. It's the only one I've seen.
Is that only one that had the 4 wires come out of it? This was it. I'm gonna tie the ground onto here as well.
Probably just they're not grounded.
Okay.
That's what I figured.
Okay. I'm gonna take this guy.
So what'd you just do?
This is gonna, I took the ground, I wrapped it into all the ground, and I took another black wire, and I'm gonna connect it into this negative port right here. Okay.
So what does having something grounded do? It just like has someone to like discharge it or something?
It helps the sensors communicate back and forth.
So this is when color matters, right?
No. Color will never matter. Copper is always copper. You just always want all the sensors to be communicating with each other so they know what's going on.
Do you understand anything?
Okay.
I feel like the best way to explain it would be like, if you use a piece of paper, it's going to do the same thing any piece of paper would do, but like no matter the color of the piece of paper, like you can still draw on it. If that makes sense to you, I don't know, dude.
Okay.
Can you speak in car form, please? Related to a car, I might be able to understand.
Tires are tires. They can go on any car.
Okay. Perfect. All of that is done.
What about the battery?
I'll plug that in just a second. Those are the last two things that we do. Backup battery goes first.
Wait, there's 2 batteries?
Well, there's the transformer, which keeps the thing turned on at all time, and then the backup battery.
In case the power goes out.
Perfect. I'm going to put all this together I'm eventually going to mount it just right in here. But for now, got my backup battery, if you guys see all this.
Yeah.
Always
use
put
the
the ones with the
existing connectors?
wings on first.
Jesus, Sam, your phone is blowing up, dude.
Okay. See this? You still filming?
Nope. Yeah.
Move it. This needs to go on first. You kind of need to push sometimes. And that just goes straight in.
Before you put on the transformer?
Yep. Okay. Push, and it's good to go. Alright. Then this one is the last one. This is the motherboard that we popped in here. You guys are gonna see a red light turn on.
Yep.
Okay, there's that. Here is this. Perfect. This side of it is good to go. We'll eventually mount that in just a second. Okay. Now we need the big old transformer.
It's a big boy. Why does it have 3?
You never use the ground. You just use the AC, really. See this green light? See, it was black and yellow and green and red, right? That is good. Good to go. Awesome, and that is it.
It's working?
Yep.
Why'd you take it off?
I'll just try to check the wires. Good to go. Turn off the video.
Imagine just messing up once.